Hey, hey, it's Tara, your yoga bestie, and I'm so excited that you are here with me today. I always like to have 2 blocks, but there aren't any props that you necessarily need. But if you want blocks, bring them. Or if there's anything else that you want, bring them. If you don't have blocks, but you'd like them, you can always get something comparable like a large book. And let's make our way to any position you want. So you can start out seated, reclined, child's pose, whatever calls your name. And as you settle into that space, go ahead and close your eyes as we start to tap into our Ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Taking this time to let go of any thoughts or worries so that you can just focus on that breath. We've got our buddy Lionel here. And as you make your way into that shape, we'll inhale. Feeling that space right below the navel start to lift as it draws upward. We're going to feel an expansion through our bellies, the side bodies, the rib cage, and our breath draws all the way up to where it lifts the collarbones. And then on our exhalation, you're going to feel your belly button draw in towards the spine, allowing us to use all 3 parts of the lungs. Our Ujjayi breath is an audible breath. You're going to hear snoring-like sound in the back of the throat, kind of like you're fogging up a mirror with your nose. And let's see if we can create a rhythm where we inhale to the count of 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling the same, or maybe making that exhalation a little bit longer. But while you're tuning in, we've been talking about the yamas of my class. The yamas are the first of the 8 limbs of yoga. It's how we show up in the world. And we're in the 5th, or the final one, which is Aparigraha, which often translates to non-attachment. Our definition that we've been using is I let go. And our focus this time is softening control. And so today's practice is about softening control, not losing intention, just loosening our grip enough to experience where we actually are. So allowing ourselves to be completely present. On our next inhale, let's find some movement. So depending on where you started, that could look like different things. Maybe you get a nice full body stretch. Maybe you make some little movements from a seated position, or you can walk your hands from side to side if you're in child's pose. And then we'll make our way either to let's just all come to an upright seated position of choice where we'll bring our hands together at our heart center, our Anjali Mudra, as we set our intention for our practice, which might be Aparigraha or I let go by softening control. Or maybe something else comes to mind that speaks to you in this moment. Please honor that. And we'll take another big breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Yeah, and then when you're ready, go ahead and make your way into a tabletop position. So we'll come onto our hands and knees, really spreading through the fingers nice and wide. And find some movement that feels good to you right now. So it might be some lateral movement like I'm doing right now. Maybe it's coming into some cow movement and then some cat movement. Maybe it's getting into the wrists by bringing those fingers to where they face towards you and shifting your weight from side to side. Maybe it's getting into the side body. So I like to come back like I'm coming into child's pose and then extend one knee out to the side and then the opposite knee, just seeing what's going on in the body today. But really any movement that just starts to bring in that breath with the movement is perfect. So try not to lose that inhale and exhale as you start to bring in some of these poses. When you're ready, we're going to start to tuck those toes under. Just hovering the knees, so keep a long gaze as you gaze towards the front of your mat. And then we're going to shift our chest back towards those thighs, so keeping that bend in the knees so the tail is going up towards the ceiling. And then we can just move those hips from side to side here, feeling that space along the side bodies. Maybe you start to bicycle the legs here. And just check in. And you take a full breath in. Exhale. Inhale, shift it forward, plank pose. Exhale, we're going to lower all the way onto our belly. So we're going to feel those elbows by the sides as we come all the way down. Tops of the feet come to the mat. Hands are underneath the shoulders as we inhale, lifting up Cobra pose. Exhale, we'll lower. And start to move through these on your own. So you can always change something up, like coming onto your fingertips in a wide stance and then maybe bringing in some shoulder dips. And the next time that the forehead lowers, go ahead and make your way back into your down dog, lifting up those hips. And we'll bend the knees a lot like we're about to take off for a race. Gaze forward, and we'll make our way to the front of our mat. So you can tiptoe it, You can walk it forward. You might float if you're ready. And we'll meet in a forward fold. So you'll separate your feet about hip distance apart, which is about 2 fists in between. Maybe you reach for opposite elbows. You could bring the arms behind the back. You could also place blocks underneath your hands if that's helpful, bringing the floor closer to you. Or you might just walk your hands from side to side as you shake the head out as if you're saying yes and no. Big breath in. Exhale, releasing your arm variation. Start to bring your feet in towards one another. We're going to slowly roll all the way up to standing. As soon as our head lifts, let's reach those arms up, maybe find a little bit of a back bend. Exhale, hands come to heart. Draw those shoulders up, back and down as you lift up through the heart center, and we'll take a full inhale. Exhale. Inhale, arms reach, gaze lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, let's lengthen halfway. And as we exhale, plant the hands, step your left foot back, coming into your runner's lunge. So you might bring your blocks with you to bring that floor closer as we start to shift forward and back from runners to our pyramid-like pose. Feel free to linger anywhere. Feel free to lower that back knee like I am. Maybe it's the full time. Maybe decide to not do it at all. Next time you shift it forward, go ahead and plant the hands. One-legged down dog will open up that hip, heel to behind me up towards the ceiling where we stay. Or we can start to make some circles going in one direction, going in the other direction. Inhale, we'll straighten that leg. Exhale, knee draws to nose as we bring that foot all the way through, coming back into our runner's lunge. And let's lower that back knee down as we start to work our right leg straight. So coming into this half splits, and we can keep our hands down. Maybe we keep those right fingertips reaching forward and that left arm back. Full breath in here. Exhale, and then we're shifting it forward for our exalted warrior. So we can bring that left arm up, right arm comes down. Option to keep the knee down, or you can lift it up by tucking those back toes under. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, lower that knee down, and we'll start to straighten through that right leg. Our next inhale brings us back forward into exalted. So we're gonna move through these movements, just kind of acclimating ourselves to going from one to the other. And next time you come into exalted, hold it here. If that knee is lowered, lift it up. And then we'll straighten that leg as we come into the back of the mat. I'm going to bring one of my blocks with me here because we're moving into half moon. So we're going to open it up by reaching through the right fingertips, extending through that right heel, stacking shoulder on top of shoulder. One more breath in. On the exhale, lower that right hand down. Take a big step back into your runner's lunge. And then we lift the left leg up. Inhale. Exhale, bring that knee to your left tricep. Inhale, we'll reach it back. Exhale, we'll bring it across towards that right tricep, so we're twisting in the torso. Inhale. Exhale, knee comes about center of the mat. We lower it down, keeping our right leg extended towards the front as we lift it up into our gate pose. So right arm, we're going to slide down that leg as we extend that left arm overhead. Big breath in. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to the back of your mat. As soon as they plant, bring your left foot behind your right leg, coming into your wild thing. So we're coming onto the ball of that foot as we lift up, where we can hold, or maybe we start to make some circles with the arm. We could bend and straighten through the leg. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, gaze towards your right hand. Step your left foot to meet it, and then ground down for your back foot like warrior two legs as we move into our reverse warrior, reaching it up and over. So continue softening through that forward knee as you keep a super strong and straight back leg. Inhale. Exhale, gaze towards your back foot. Pivot to the front of your mat, and we'll move into our revolved half moon. So maybe a block here as well. So lifting up through that left leg, you might place your hand at the small of your back, and then we twist towards the right. So you can lead with that elbow and shoulder, and then maybe extend through that arm as you work those inner thighs towards one another. Big breath in. Exhale, find your forward fold. Take a full breath in here. Exhale. And we'll roll it all the way up. Arms will reach up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. Step your right foot back this time for your runner's lunge. So I'm going to get my block. Playing a little bit of musical chairs with the blocks, that's okay. We'll start to shift forward and back in the space. I don't know why we act like that's such a big deal, but we do. Next time that you shift it forward, go ahead and plant your hands, one-legged down dog. So open up through the hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling. We can stay, or we can start to make those circles going in one direction, going in the other direction. Inhale, we'll reach it up. Exhale, knee draws the nose. And then we're going to bring that foot in between our hands as we lower the back knee down. And we start to straighten through that left leg for our half splits. You can keep those hands down, or we might start to reach that left arm forward and the right arm back. Big breath in here. Exhale. And then shift it forward. Exalted, right arm is up. Knee can stay down or we can lift it. Either way is totally cool. Big breath here. Exhale, lower it down. And we'll start to move through our half splits to our exalted warrior. Kind of feels like a little dance. Next time we're at our exalted, stay here, lifting up the knee if it isn't already. Big breath in. Exhale, straighten those legs. Maybe take your block with you to the back of the mat for half moon. So really extending through that left heel, trying to stack shoulder on top of shoulder here. One more breath in. Exhale, lower that left hand down, take a step back, and then we move into our one-legged down dog. Bring that right leg back, and then we bring it to the right tricep. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, we bring it across. Inhale, we reach it back, and then we take it to the center of the mat, coming into that gate pose. So reaching that right arm up and over as we reach towards the front of our mat. Think about drawing those shoulders back so shoulder blades come towards one another. Full breath in. Exhale. And then cartwheel your hands to the back of the mat. Wild thing, bringing that right foot behind as we come onto the ball mount of that foot, where we can hold or we can start to bring in some movement here. Big breath in, we lift. Exhale, gaze towards your left hand or towards the back. Big step to the back with that right foot. Ground down like warrior two legs. And then we'll inhale into our reverse warrior. Reaching it up and over. Big breath in. Exhale, gaze towards your back foot. Pivot to the front. Revolved half moon. I've got my block there. So I can lift up that leg, maybe have my hand onto the small of my back as I twist, and then maybe start to extend through that arm from that space. One more breath in. Exhale, release, forward fold. Take a full breath here. Exhale. And then on our inhale, we'll roll it up. Arms reach up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. And then we'll plant the hands, keeping our gaze forward as we step or float back. Lowering, maybe hovering chaturanga. Inhaling into your cobra or maybe up dog if you're ready. And then we'll exhale into our down dog, lifting up those hips nice and high. Take a full breath in here. Exhale, soften those knees, gaze forward as you step or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse. Reach it up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, hands plant, gazes forward as we make our way to down dog. So you can always skip this vinyasa. It's totally up to you. We make our way there. Full breath in. Exhale, soften those knees, gazing forward as we step or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. One more, let's reverse. Reach it up and back, maybe see the back wall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. Exhale, plant those hands, step it back. Making your way to your down dog. Or any resting position of choice. How are we doing? That's your warm up for today. So know that you've done a lot already. Get a drink of water or whatever your preference is, or the substitute to your preference in my case. But thank you for being here for me. San Pellegrino, why Topo is taking a break, but our warm-up has almost all the poses that we do in our two main sequences, which I call peanut butter and jelly. So if you're new to my practice, we do peanut butter 3 times, we do jelly 3 times, and then at the end, we bring those two together for one so delicious, so satisfying PB&J sequence sandwich. Who's hungry? You are, right? So let's make our way to down dog. That's where we're starting today for peanut butter. And as we make our way there, we're letting go because we're practicing Aparigraha, and we are softening control. So just be present. Let it be what it needs to be. All right, let's make our way there. From our down dog, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee draws to that right tricep. Inhale, we reach it back. Exhale, we bring it across. Inhale, we reach it back. Exhale, we'll lower that knee to the center of our mat for our gate pose. So we'll reach that right arm up and over as we lean in towards the back of our mat. Inhale. Exhale. And then let's cartwheel those hands to the front of our mat. We pick up that right foot, bringing it behind for wild thing as we lift up through those hips to this back bend. Big inhale. And then on our exhale, gaze towards the front of your mat. Take a big step forward with that right foot. And we're moving into our reverse warrior. Reaching it up and over. Continue softening through that knee as we inhale. Exhale. We'll gaze towards the back. And then we pivot to the back for our revolved half moon. So we can take our block here. Think about really drawing those inner thighs towards one another as you move into this shape. And here's the thing. Maybe you prefer a different shape. Do you know who does? Like everybody. So bend that back leg. You might find your foot or ankle. Cool, that might be where you stay. Maybe that foot pushes into the hand and it lifts you up as you come into your revolved dancer's pose. So all you're doing is pushing that foot into the hand to create space as you lift up. And I've got one more option for you from here. Maybe you keep the revolved dancer and then you move into your baby grasshopper. So hand can come down, elbows close to the sides, and we start to extend through that leg as we lower our seat. So if we're here, we bend that leg, find the foot, start to bend the left leg, and bring your gaze forward as you keep this chaturanga-like arm in towards your side. And that is how we make that happen. From here, we'll step it back. And guess what? We're ready for our other side already. So left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, knee draws to tricep. Inhale, we reach it back. Exhale, we bring it across, twisting in that torso. Inhale, we reach it back. Exhale, bring that knee to center, coming into our gate pose as we reach up and over towards the front of our mats. Inhale. Exhale, then bring those hands down at the back. We inhale, wild thing, lifting up through those hips. And then over exhale, we gaze towards the back of our mat. Step it forward with that left foot as you spin it down. And inhale, reverse warrior. Full breath in here. Exhale, gaze towards your back foot. And we pivot to the front of our mats. I know, front, back, but it's all good. And we'll make our way into that revolved half moon. Or we're like, no, we're gonna add on here because it's more fun to play anyway sometimes, right? Well, it's really all the time, I think, but that's my opinion. So you can push into that hand with the foot. You can start to extend through that left arm. Maybe we're playing with our baby grasshopper. So we still have hold of that foot. We bring that left hand down and we start to lower our seat as we extend through that leg. Yeah. Really fun times. All right. Where are we coming from? Here. So we'll step it back. And now we'll just start to move one breath, one posture. So right leg lifts as we inhale. Exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale, we reach it back. Exhale, we bring it across. Inhale. Exhale, knee comes to center, gate pose, reaching that right arm up and over. And then as we exhale, hands come to the front. We inhale, wild thing. Exhale, gaze towards your left hand, step it forward. We inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, we gaze to the back and pivot to the back as we come into that revolved half moon. Feel free to add anything if that feels good, or we'll go right back into our one-legged down dog on the left side. Inhale, exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale, exhale, bring it across. Inhale, exhale, knee to center, gate pose, reaching up and over towards the front of the mat. And then we exhale, bringing those hands to the back. Left foot comes behind as we inhale, wild thing. Exhale, gaze towards your right hand, step it there. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, gaze towards your back foot. Pivot to the front. Inhale, revolved half moon. And then as we exhale, we step it back, one-legged down dog. You're doing amazing. Knee to tricep. Knee across. Knee to center for a gate to reach it up and over. And then hands to the front. Inhale, wild thing. Exhale, step it forward. We inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, gaze the back. We pivot there. So we inhale, revolved half moon. And then we step it back. One-legged down dog. Knee to tricep. Knee across. Knee to center. Gate pose. Hands to the back. We inhale, wild thing. Step it to the back. Ground down as we inhale, reverse. And then we gaze to the back. Pivot to the front of our mats as we inhale into our revolved half moon. And then we can just find mountain pose. That's peanut butter. Ooh, how we doing? I think you're doing amazing. Take a moment just to let that kind of sink in and all of your awesomeness. I'm telling you, PB is no joke. So, while you were taking your little breaky, I have only one question for you. Are you ready for the jelly? I think you are. All right. Jelly starts out in mountain pose. So we will make our way to mountain. We're drawing those shoulders up, back, and down. Make sure that we're feeling the rib cage expand as we inhale, feeling it draw in as we exhale. And we're letting go by softening control. So take a big breath in here. Exhale. Inhale, arms reach, gaze lifts. Exhale into our forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. And then as we exhale, plant the hands, step your left foot back, and then lower that knee down. As we exhale, we'll straighten through that right leg. We can reach that right arm forward. And then we'll inhale into our exalted. This should feel familiar. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, exalted. And then we straighten that leg, setting up for half moon at the back of our mat. So we can have our block there as we lift up the right arm and leg. Flexing through that foot. You can also, if you wanted to, bend that leg, find that foot or ankle, maybe create a back bend there. If you want to go into full dancer's pose, because we did the revolved dancers earlier, feel free to do that as well. Big breath in. And then right hand comes down, right leg comes behind the left, and we come into a seated twist. Full breath in here as we lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, going a little bit deeper into our twist. And then we'll release, facing forward, or actually the back of our mat. Sit it back, find this figure 4 shape. So we're only gonna do this part the first time on each side. You might find a little bit of a rocking from side to side here, getting a little bit closer into that hip. Maybe you bring your heel closer to your behind, getting a little bit more sensation here. Another option would be to come into a really strong twist by bringing your arm into that foot. And there's really only one reason to do that. So if you did baby grasshopper before, I'm gonna offer up, I guess, adult grasshopper. Now, in order to do grasshopper, your ass has to be off the mat. Where's my ass right now? That's right, it's not off the mat. So how do we do that? Well, I'm gonna bring my arm right back there. I'm gonna put my hands into the floor as I lift up my butt, keeping those chaturanga arms, keeping my gaze forward. I step on that arm and I lift up that right leg. And that is how I come into grasshopper. So, first off, start out with that twist because it's a lot going on right there. If that twist is working for you to where you can bring your arm into it and you're not like facing the back, then maybe it makes sense to lift up that seat. This may be where we stay. Or maybe we lift up. Continue pushing the floor away as you make your way into that shape. Or don't worry about it at all, because we're only going to see it on the other side. So from here, you can bring the soles of the feet on the mat, and we're lifting all the way up to standing. I don't care how you get there. I don't care if you use your hands. I don't care if you use blocks. I don't care if it feels super awkward. We just make our way to standing. And we'll take a big breath in here. Exhale. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the right foot back this time and lower that knee. As we exhale, we'll straighten through that leg, half splits. Inhale, we come into that exalted. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, we hold it here. And then we straighten, coming into our half moon, maybe with our trusty blocker or prop. Opening it up to the long edge of the mat. Maybe you find your foot here if you did that on the other side. Take a big breath in. Exhale, left knee comes behind the right. Seated twist, so we'll twist towards the right. Full breath in. Exhale. And then one more good time, right? We'll bring ourselves into that figure 4 shape. We might stay here. We might bring our booty closer to our heel. We might see what's going on if we come into this really big twist. Yeah. You probably don't often think about bringing your foot onto your to your upper arm, do you? No, probably not. So, but if it's there, see what happens. Lift up that booty. See if you can lift up that leg. Remember, 1 millisecond with that foot off the mat counts. Why wouldn't it? You did it. So, don't worry about it if it doesn't happen today. It's all good. It's not easy to get your butt off the mat. And then once you do, it's scarier, right? It's all the way up there. And then we gotta see if we can lift it from there. we won't think about it anymore. Bring the soles of the feet on the mat. Make your way up to standing. And let's go. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. We step the left foot back, lowering that knee. And then we exhale, half splits. Inhale. Let's straighten. We're only doing it one time. Coming to the back as we inhale, coming into our half moon. Exhale, bringing that leg behind as we come into our seated twist. And then we release. Bring those feet onto the mat. We lift it up. Arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Exhale, step that foot back, lowering the knee as we find that half splits. And then we'll inhale into our exalted. Let's straighten those legs for half moon at the front. And then we bring that left knee behind as we move into our seated twist. We'll release. Bring those feet onto the mat. Lift it up. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Step that left foot back. Lower the knee. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, exalted. We straighten for half moon at the back. Big breath in. Exhale, bring that knee behind. And we twist towards the left. We face forward. We release. And we come all the way up to standing. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Right foot steps back. It lowers that knee. And we straighten through that left leg. And then we come forward for exalted. We'll straighten, making our way to our half moon at the front. And then left knee comes behind as we twist towards the right. And then we release. Soles of the feet come onto the mat. And then we lift up. And we're so excited because we made it to the best part of the practice. It's PB&J time. It's peanut butter and jelly time. We're bringing these two together one last time. And then we're done. How's that sound? It sounds great, huh? I'm so proud of you. Let's do this. Down dog. I mean, drink of water if you need to first, obviously. But I was just going off of all of this momentum. So be me in down dog. We're letting go by softening control. Let's go. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee draws to right tricep. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, bring it across. Inhale. Exhale, knee to center. Gate pose, reaching that right arm up and overhead. And then hands come to the front of the mat. We inhale, wild thing. Exhale, gaze the front. Step it forward as we come into our reverse warrior. We then straighten as we come to the back. Moving into our revolved half moon. And then we step it back, lowering that knee as we come into that half splits to exalted. We'll straighten those legs. And then right hand comes down as left arm and leg lift for a half moon. And then we find our way to down dog, which means the first side is done. Left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale. Exhale, bring it across. Inhale. Exhale, knee to center. Coming into our gate pose. And then hands come to the front of the mat. We inhale, wild thing. Exhale, gaze forward. Step it forward with that left foot as you ground down. And we inhale into our reverse warrior. We straighten those legs as we come to the back. Revolved half moon. And then step it back, lowering that knee. Right arm forward. Inhale, exalted. And then we move to the front for our half moon. And then we can find our down dog or any resting position of choice because you did it. Amazing work. Really amazing. So take a moment, come to a seated position, and just let that sink in. Close your eyes. Maybe a big smile on your face. And just allow this feeling to sink in for a moment. You did this. This is all you. Be proud of yourself. You did amazing. And Stay here as long as you like. If there's other things that you want to incorporate into your practice that's upright, this is a great time to do it. Otherwise, we might make our way onto our backs if we want to come into more of a traditional Shavasana, or we can just find stillness in this seated pose. So it's really up to you. But as you make your way into your final spot, just allow yourself to let this moment sink in, let this practice sink in, and be so proud of all of your hard work. Have so much gratitude for showing up to your mat today. I have so much gratitude for you doing so and practicing with me. It's always such an honor. And once you're ready, find your version of Shavasana. As always, please stay here as long as you'd like. There's never a rush, but if you're ready and you're not already in a seated position, we'll meet there, where we'll bring our hands together at our heart center, our Anjali Mudra, and we'll tuck our chin under. Thank you so very much for practicing with me. Thank you for taking this time out of your busy schedule to make time for you. It's so, so important. And until next time, namaste.